Keep pushing, come on, you got this. Feel that beat, yes, looking good.
28 hours and 55 minutes to go. What have I signed up for? What am I doing? I expect you guys are asking the same. Well, myself and these incredible people are here to break a record. We are trying to complete the world's longest ever indoor cycling class. And that currently stands at 28 hours. So that means we're going big. We're going for 29, obviously. Okay, so that is the what. But the why is a little bit harder to explain. And for that, I think we need to rewind a few months to really understand what I'm doing here right now. I have just been approached by the very inspirational woman, Jackie Scully, who herself has overcome two pretty major setbacks in life. But she's now looking for a very positive challenge ahead of a milestone birthday. And apparently she's heard that I like to push myself to the limits, and she's come up with a record idea that's going to require plenty of determination, dedication, and a lot of stubbornness, which I definitely tick. And apparently it's not really going to require any skills. So I jumped in and said yes before I heard that it's actually going to involve spending the best part of a weekend on an indoor bicycle. Now, I am completely out of my comfort zone with that one and in need of a bit of help. But I think there's one man over at GCN, a certain Hank, who's got some experience, and I'm hoping he can give me some pretty good tips.
Well, Hank, I need to pick your brains because I know you are king of endurance over at GCN and you've done your mega rides on road and indoors. And obviously I'm focusing on indoor. How did the two differ for you doing, like, what was harder?
I think indoors massively harder.
Oh no,
so,
wrong answer.
Yeah, and the reason being is because, one, the cooling factor. So when you're outside, you're naturally going to get cooled by the air. And then you're so reliant on, you know, fans and sourcing other cooling equipment. But you are just going to build up a whole load of body heat, and there's only so much you can do to cool the air around you. So one thing I would definitely say is make sure you got a great fan, because getting that body temperature to lower is really important.
I'm just looking forward to being warm for 29 hours.
Yeah, well you'll regret that, trust me. The other thing is, being an indoor trainer, you're static, and the bike doesn't move, and so when you're outdoors, you're kind of free to move on the bike. And so this way is when you get things like saddle sores and you get aches and pains, and these aches and pains are going to come on a lot sooner on an indoor trainer than they are.
So, you're not selling this to me right now. So what can I do to help all of these kind of negatives? Or what did you do? Yeah,
so I think the first thing is to make sure you've got shoes and you've got equipment that you're very much used to. The other thing is to do some relatively long rides on trainers.
We're too late for that now.
Okay, we can't do that.
I've done it like 2 hours has been my max, which is probably not enough.
Which is probably, you know, anything's better than nothing. But the longer the ride you do on the static bike, the more you'll understand of how your position on the bike fits and what works better for you and what niggles you're having and what niggles you aren't having.
Final question, like, I've never done something indoors during the night without sleeping. Like, what time should you expect to really hit the worst bit, and any tips?
So you go through something called the graveyard shift. And the graveyard shift is around from 2 till 4 a.m. So when your body clock starts to want to put you to sleep, and naturally it will happen. And so that's where you want to look at caffeine, and you want to look at kind of high glucose foods to kind of like trick your mind into thinking that you want to stay up. And so you'll go into like 10, you'll start to get tired. 12, you'll start to get a little bit more tired, but then you go into the early hours and then you really want to go to sleep. And that's where I would definitely suggest you take a couple of espressos and get back on it, and then you wake your body back up, and when you hit 4 or 5, the sun starts to rise and you'll get back on it.
Awesome. Right, I'm gonna have some more coffee. Thought of that.
The thing to remember is, you know, this isn't an easy challenge, and once you accept that, and you break it down into hour, 2 hour, 3 hour chunks. Anything's possible.
Awesome. Well, you've done it, and you're my inspiration, Hank. Thank you.
Here we go. Good luck. You're going to need it.
Okay, I'm into unknown territory. The clock has just ticked past 3 hours. This is the longest I've ever sat on an indoor bike in my life. Admittedly, I have ridden a bike outside for longer, but that includes coffee and cakes, stopping for convenience breaks, taking photos, and basically any excuse to have a rest. And that's obviously not forgetting freewheeling when you just sit there and enjoy it. We've got none of those luxuries today, or tomorrow, for that fact.
In order to be awarded an official world record, we have to follow strict rules. This is a class record, so a minimum of 10 of us, plus the instructor, have to ride for the full 29 hours. We do accrue 5 minutes of rest for every 60 minutes pedalled. However, we must all take this at the same time. We've made a collective decision to take the 8 minutes of rest every 2 hours for the first half of this challenge. That way, we'll have a few extra minutes to take later on when things get tough.
Anyway, it's probably time I introduce you to this woman, Jackie Scully. She is the birthday girl. And she's also the reason that we are all here. And I caught up with her properly before we got on the bikes.
And Jackie, I think everyone's going to be dying to know why you've got all of us doing this crazy challenge.
So I turned 40, and 40 is an age I never thought I would reach after being diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 32. Added to that, I had my leg rebuilt in my 20s, so I had to learn to walk again in my 20s. And so I've decided to gift my 40th birthday back to charity in order to celebrate life, celebrate being here, and celebrate all the things I love, which is endurance, movement, and getting out there and searching for my edges.
I mean, we're recording this before, and you're saying all the things you love. Do you think you're still going to be loving it after 28 hours?
No, I think there's maybe probably by about 12. But the fact that I've brought 15 people together to do that with me is something I will never forget.
And how did you I sort of spoke to you on the process of working out exactly what the challenge is, but how did you come to this final idea of this challenge specifically?
So I've always wanted to break a Guinness World Record, and I came up with 40 things to do before I'm 40, of which this is one. And I realised I'm not fast, so it was never going to be speed related. I don't want to eat more food than anyone else, and I'm definitely not a superlative in terms of the longest, the shortest, etc. So I thought the only thing I could do was go long. It feels like something that is hard, never been done, but doable with the right team around me.
And you touched on you don't want to be eating the most ever, but I mean, that might be combined with this anyway.
I think so. I do believe it is an eating, sleep deprivation and moving your legs competition, and I'm committed to the eating part most of all.
Me too. And have you done anything like this before?
No, I did get married and run the London Marathon on the same day, so arguably you could say I had form in the area of attaching big events to big endurance challenges, but nothing of this length and nothing that with this level of sleep deprivation. So I'm really excited, terrified, and super proud of the team for getting here.
And finally, what terrifies you the most about this challenge?
4 a.m.
We'll see you there.
Keep pushing, come on, you got this. Nice, you're looking good. Yes, keep moving, nice.
I think you can see my why is quite obvious. I mean, some of the obstacles and achievements that Jackie has overcome basically mean that the rest of us cannot even mutter a single complaint. And I'm going to be honest, I'm glad the music is loud. But we've already been through quite a few highs and lows and, throughout the day. We've still got the whole night to come, which is kind of hard to comprehend because, as you can see, it's hard to even know what time of day it is in here. But we are relying on the incredible Francesca, who is leading us for the whole 29 hours. And she's got every single song choreographed.
Nice, stand tall, hold that head high.
Not even sweating yet, which is good, but getting hungry, which is also good. I'm kind of worried when my bottom starts to really hurt, and at night, but it's dark in there, so we kind of don't know when it's dark, when it's night. But yeah, everything's kind of fine at the moment, which is nice. So check that out later, might be different.
Feeling a lot better than I was a couple of hours actually. I think if you need the toilet, time goes very slowly indeed. So I'm feeling good, I guess I'm really worried about the night. I think, when sleep deprivation kicks in and me and the instructor are trying to plan all the time and the rest breaks, just trying to remember everything, just trying to keep everything on track. That's what I'm worried about. So fingers crossed.
Less than a minute, guys, get on your bikes.
We're moving into the evening now, and the part that most people have been dreading is slowly approaching.
Probably about 20 hours onwards, it's going to be a bit grim.
But anything once I know we're into night time, so like early hours of the morning, I think are going to feel quite tough. If we can get through that, it's going to be home stretch.
It's late and our supporters are heading home. It's now just those of us on the bikes left here for the long night ahead.
I survived it, as we all did, but it's weird because the atmosphere is great again now, but everyone wasn't here like you guys, and those 5 hours from 1 AM till 6 AM were just hideous. We were just grinding it out. You sit on the saddle, your bottom hurts, you don't want to, so you want to stand up, but you stand up and your feet hurt, then you want to sit down, and it's just a vicious circle, and it's so nice just to be standing on the ground right now. But anyway, I've got really short breaks, got to go.
I feel a bit like I've got jet lag and sleep deprivation, but really proud that we are now looking at nearly 24 hours on the clock and only 5 hours left to do. If it was the other way around, I don't think I'd be quite so happy. But the night was hard, harder in different parts, but we did do a 2-hour movies and musicals round, which kept me very happy. So there was a lot of singing along the way.
Like the graveyard, the 3 AM till 6 AM was tough, but I'm straight now.
Almost fell asleep and fell off the bike, but now I'm feeling excited, feeling pumped, there's really good energy. Not long to go. I think we're all going to do it. It's going to be awesome. Woo-hoo!
stretch clothes because we are into the final 3 hours, and it's amazing the vibe in the room has just completely changed in the last hour, and everyone looks really. Oh, I think that's cool. We gotta go. 3 hours to go.
So having beaten the current record of 28 hours, it's time for us to set the new one.